And we are back with another episode of From the Rafters. Sam and I are here recording on Sunday, May 15th. About what, an hour, 30 minutes after Game 7, Celtics Bucks. And
Probably a half hour.
I don't think there are words. Euphoric, I think that's the closest word I can
Well,
say.
you should start the talk today. Usually it's me, and I'll talk for a minute or two. And I mean, this is Jack all written over it.
I don't have enough words to describe my Grant Williams agenda. I think this is the most evidence I've ever had. I will never understand the people who doubted him. Did I foresee him being the guy to take 8? He took 18 threes, Sam. He took 18 threes in a Game 7.
Well, they were daring him. It is crazy to think about that, though. 18 threes.
I think that's the most ever attempted in the playoffs in a game.
Probably is.
Grant Williams shot 7 for 18 from 3, scored 27 points, led the game in scoring, and led the Celtics to a Game 7 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the defending champions. Not Jayson Tatum, Grant Williams. This is... I said to my mom during the game, I said, Mom, I don't think there's anything else I care about more in life other than this, and I might have to get a Grant Williams tattoo. My whole thing with the tattoo is I don't know what matters to me enough to put on my body for the rest of my life. And in that moment, when Grant Williams was hitting those threes, it was that. I texted Zoe. I said, Zoe, this is the closest I think I've ever been to being actually high. And because I just don't, because whatever. And that's what I imagine the feeling is like. No words, floating. That was the word I kept using on Twitter, in chats, everything. Everyone was like, how you doing? I said, I'm floating, because that's what it was. It was just anything and everything you could have asked for. We said it on the pregame. We said, Grant Williams needs to snap out of it. That'd be huge. He hasn't played well. He shut everybody right up. Just wow.
He had me nervous in the first quarter. He looked very afraid to shoot. He made the first one, missed a couple more, continued to miss for a little while. Then he caught fire, made 2 or 3 in a row, and really started feeling it. That's what you needed out of him. And he played good defense. Giannis, which we can talk about in a bit, was very tired by the end of this game. At least that's what the excuse can be, if that's what you can attribute it to, because the guy had to play his ass off for the whole series. But Grant worked on the defensive end as well, and he was the top scorer in the game, so good for him. And it's just remarkable to me that they just continued to leave him open. Like, Lopez is just sitting there. That Budenholzer should get an earful for that on Twitter, on talk shows, everywhere. Just, it's okay that they had a good strategy to start the game. It was working, but once it stopped working, they didn't adjust. They didn't do anything.
I'm like, obviously we're recording. I'm like lost for words, which is like the worst thing to be for a podcast. And I'm sure I'll settle down as we keep going. But I told Sam this before we got on. I dented my wall out of excitement. And I'll tell you what it was. It was, remember when Marcus missed the 3? Peyton Pritchard snagged the offensive rebound, kicked it back out to Smart, and Smart, no hesitation, took it again and made it. Yeah. Done. Got up, screamed, slammed the wall out of excitement, dent. You can see it on Twitter. But I just
you slammed the wall.
I did out of excitement. I slammed my fist, my hand. And I dented the wall.
It was a fist or open hand?
No, open hand dented the wall with my palm.
Does it hurt at all?
No, I'm fine. Just here, I'll show you a picture.
I've seen it. I saw the picture.
If you're watching on YouTube, there's my wall dent. You can kind of see it. Yeah, I mean,
you can see the print in the wall, the dent. Is the family happy with you, Jack? Do they know?
They know. My mom just kind of laughed.
I can't imagine if I did that. My parents are all for it until I.
I was watching with my mom, and she like knew, obviously, like that. This is what I live for. So it was like she understood. We can just. I mean, I'll if it needs like repairs, I'll pay for it. And it'll get spackled, et cetera, et cetera. You know what did it more for me though? You know our good friend Danny?
Yes.
He on draft night, Danny told me Peyton Pritchard is the pick of the century. You have my word. And I was like pretty unaware of who Peyton Pritchard was at the time. And when Peyton Pritchard hit the crossover step back over Drew Holiday 3-point shot, just this game didn't run out of what the fuck moments. No short. Malik Fitz hit a 3 after separating his shoulder, Sam.
That was hilarious.
What? Excuse me. I will say though, if Grant Williams hit that step back fadeaway 3 with the clock running out,
that would have been fire.
Unbearable. I would have been streaking in the streets. I would have been. I'm
do you
already
have the endurance
unbearable
for that, or you think you get tired?
I think I could run a marathon right now.
You think you
could
I could
do anything. I could do anything right now, and I'm not in good shape. I could do anything right now in this moment. Grant, give him the max. Give him anything he wants. Like there is no words. Wow. Just Grant Williams is the story of the night. He's the story of Game 7. He's going to be on SportsCenter. He's going to be on ESPN. Every outlet, every news site. I'm going to write about him for Celtics blog. Just incredible. That just otherworldly performance from Grant Williams. Again, 7 of 18 from 3 and 3 for 4 from 2-point range. He was unstoppable. And 2 blocks. Shout out. Just the perfect game. He did everything you needed him to do.
I'm very impressed with Grant in the sense that he didn't start well, but he remained confident, kept shooting, which you have to credit Udoka for. I'm sure he took him out of the game and told him like, hey, keep it going. But he did an excellent job at staying strong mentally when the team is literally leaving you out there and daring you to shoot. I mean, Ben Simmons, take notes. Look at that.
Maybe don't take 18 threes, Ben Simmons, but maybe shoot a couple.
Yeah.
Shoot a couple.
My goodness. And wow. I don't remember where you stood on him driving the closeouts, but I was always kind of for it, and he did a good job on the drives he did too.
I was fine with it, but what I said is you can't do that every time. You have to be willing to shoot them too, which clearly he's fine taking threes. At 18, Sam, they took 55 threes this game.
Yeah, if you told me that before the game, I would have told you they lost.
They won by 28.
28 points. Believe it or not, the game was still stressful for a half.
I was still stressed. I was stressed the whole time.
I took insurance late in the third. I took 12 plus 1,200. And
Kelly Olynyk
without funds, which is great.
Grant Williams
absolutely fine.
Did his best Kelly Olynyk impression.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. And I'm gonna shout him out again. I shouted him out when he told me about the Kyrie stream a couple of podcasts ago. It's Gear, who's in our pregame chats. His name's PJ. We talk on Twitter a decent amount. 3:35 before the game tipped off, right? Because ESPN. 3:35 before the game tipped off. He messages me. He says, "I gotta find it. One sec. Gotta find it." He texted me 3:35, calling it now. Grant will have his Kelly Game 7. 3:35.
And if you cannot see it on the screen, it's on Twitter.
Yeah, I put it on. I tweeted it, everything. And I responded, "Oh God, I would be unbearable on Twitter," which I think I have been. We've spent the first 8 minutes and only talked about Grant Williams, and that's completely deserved
because we haven't talked about anything else. Just Grant.
He deserves it.
It's just remarkable to me that they were like, "All right, go ahead and shoot. You shot 40% from 3 for the year. Yeah, just leave him. Lopez, sit on the block." One thing before we get into legitimate things like to discuss.
This is legitimate, Sam.
No, like
this is
aside from this is the top story, right? But how about Kane Fitzgerald? The showstopper. Offensive foul after offensive foul both ways. This is not me saying that they were favoring the Bucks or anything. It's just he was trying to be the star of the show today.
Yeah.
He called the Tatum foul and ring out to half court to make the charge call.
Crazy.
He called the one that Milwaukee challenged and it got overturned, which I can't believe got overturned, by the way. After they called the same foul on Tatum and took a basket away. And then they called that foul on Tatum not once but twice. And then they overturn a call. The Celtics have gotten the shaft for challenges this year.
They have.
If you look at the challenges other teams win against them in the playoffs versus challenges throughout the season that they lost, It is like night and day. You would not believe the shenanigans they have had to put up with the challenge.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I mean, the whole game, and it was both sides too. Milwaukee got kind of screwed with a couple calls in there. Boston got screwed with plenty. Like the refs were just, it was inconsistent for both teams. Like they'd call something for Boston and then call it against the Bucks, and then vice versa. It was very flip floppy. I wouldn't be happy with the officiating if I'm either side, but in the end, officiating cannot be an excuse for a 30-point
Remember
loss.
when the refs mattered in this series, and you know how you make that not a thing is you just play better.
And that's
I
exactly
tweeted
what
it
they
after
did.
game 3, and people got like really mad at me, like, which never happens on Twitter. Usually I'm just complaining and people are liking it or ignoring me. But then a couple people started replying like, you know, it's not too much to ask the refs to do their jobs, or like it was a disaster from the refs. Like, why are you holding the players to a standard but not the refs? This is why. And I don't really think either team got screwed today. And if any team did, it was probably Milwaukee, just because of the final
The
score.
offensive fouls.
But you won by nearly 30 points. The refs did not matter. Doesn't matter.
Did not matter.
If you're Milwaukee, you lost by 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't lose by 30 points because of the officials. You lost because Giannis was tired.
It's the first blowout of the playoffs, right?
No, they blew them out in game 2.
I don't count that as a blowout.
You don't count that as a blowout? They're up 25 at half.
Yeah, but then they brought it back. What, they win by 12?
In game 2?
Yeah, they didn't win by that much.
Oh my gosh, Jack. No, that was a blowout.
Really? I don't know.
Now we're both looking it up and not talking. Let's see.
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking it up. I don't think it was a blowout. They won by 13.
109 to 86.
Oh, they won by 23. I thought it was 96 to 109. I apologize. Sam is correct. I am wrong. That was a blowout. I saw somebody tweet. It was a Bucks account, and it was one of the Bucks account who was complaining the whole series. They called like Al Horford, Marcus Smart dirty. Like they were just like
that
bitching.
Guy. Okay.
Yeah. And he tweeted, he goes, honestly, fair play to Boston. They probably outplayed the Bucks 5 out of these 7 games, which is, I mean,
which they did.
Rational, fair take, and I respect it, and I have no problem with Bucks fans.
Celtics
I understand.
Punked in game 1 and got they got outplayed in game 3.
It was the fourth quarter collapse though, game 5.
Yeah, but even then, like I talked about it on the pregame. I was talking about it with a friend earlier too. My friend said, they really outplayed them the last 5 and 6. They just collapsed in the 4th and 5, and they closed it in 6. And we saw the same thing today, where after 3 quarters, the Celtics were way ahead.
Yeah,
and
I was nervous. I was really nervous.
I put money that they would lose just in case. You got to walk away with something. But then, contrary to game 5, they double the lead after they won by 28, and they were up like 14 going into the quarter. That is
silence.
Remarkable.
You guys are going to get some silences in this podcast because I'm speechless. I'm trying to muster words, but like that was the best we've seen the Celtics play since I can't remember.
This is the team that won all those games after January 6th.
This is better than those teams because those teams weren't shooting this well.
This may be the most famous January 6th. This may be the most famous January 6th. January 6th is when they stormed the Capitol.
Oh, stop. We're not.
January 6th is now when the Celtics season became turned around. That's the day.
I guess so. That we'll stick to the latter. That's the more important day. We don't have to talk about the other event. Grant Williams tweets coming out, by the way. I'm going to be writing about it for Celtics blog. I don't. If you thought anybody else was going to get the Grant Williams story after this game, you must be mistaken. Anyways, Grant, I've got to forget about it tomorrow because we got to get ready for the Heat. Already locked in. Grant Williams and Ime Udoka saying like, let it fly. That was the message to Grant for the whole game. Let it fly. Like, and that's exactly what it was. He said he was shot faking a lot, and coaches told him to take what's there. Exactly what I said. And I told you that you got to take the shot sometimes, man. And I mean, he did. Grant Williams on breaking Steph Curry's record for most 3-point attempts in a game 7. We're both from Charlotte, so it must be a thing. And then he just said, like, getting ready for the Heat now. Getting ready for the Heat. It's just okay. We can talk about other than Grant
Did you
Williams
see
stories now.
Budenholzer flop?
I did when he fell to his knees.
Are you kidding me?
That was in one of the offensive fouls, I
mean,
think.
these coaches the Celtics have to play in the playoffs. You got him flopping. You got Nick Nurse standing in the corner.
We won't get
ridiculous.
it next. We won't get it next series.
Good.
You're not going to get it.
Well, you're going to get somebody that actually knows how to coach, which is not as fun.
We can talk about the Heat later.
Budenholzer leaving Grant Williams open the entire game, daring him to shoot. Well done.
Apparently, not a good game plan there.
He's lucky Durant's foot was on the line last year because he'd be unemployed.
I agree. Who else?
Now he's grandfathered in.
He is now.
They can't fire him. He won a title. Like he'll just leave when he wants.
I agree. What was I gonna say? Jayson Tatum was good. He quieted down a little in the second half and let other guys take over. But I mean, he did what he needed.
He played correctly. He did a great job. He was really big in the first half when they had nothing going, and he deferred in the second half. He let the game come to him. He literally played a perfect game.
He had 6 assists in the second half too. 6 assists and 6 field goal total. Attempts. 6 shots and 6 assists in the first half. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm looking. He had 8 assists in the game, so 6 of them were in the second half.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great game from Tatum. I mean, that is everything I would ask for. Game 6 was great, and it is a historic performance, and we're not downplaying that. I just think that is perfect. What did he take? Like 12 shots for the game? Something like that? Minimal.
He took more in the first half. He took 14. Yeah, about right. Yeah. 9 were threes, but
and he was efficient.
Yeah, he shot 5 for 9.
What else can you ask for?
Yeah, he got cold. He started off 4 for 4, I think, or 5 for 5, and then he missed his next 4, but and he stopped, which is good.
It's fine.
Also, Sam, I hope you texted your friend because Marcus Smart. Oh baby, oh baby, Marcus Smart. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal, and a block. He didn't shoot efficiently, but that didn't matter. He got to the line 7 times, shot 6 for 7, took more free throws than anybody else in the game. Just everything you want from your point guard.
You know what? I should not. We need to track. Jesus Christ, Sam. We need to backtrack a bit.
Yes.
The officials. That call he got at halftime. If that was the opposite, like somebody on Milwaukee got fouled on that
pissed.
and they gave him 3 shots, I'd be irate.
However,
game 3,
he got his 3 free throws.
They didn't give him the 3 shots. So there you go.
Got him now. That he did. It was a shot though. It's kind of hard.
No, it definitely was a shot because there was no time left. He was going to throw it up. It's
tough. Definitely lame. I'm not gonna say it's not lame.
It's lame. No, it's lame. I don't know, but like he definitely fouled him too. That's the problem. But if I'm Milwaukee fans, I'm not happy. That is a very tough pill to swallow. At the end of the half, it's a 5-point swing. They had the ball down 2. They could have easily scored, and Marcus put the pressure on, stole the ball, and then got fouled and made 3 free throws. It's a disaster. That was the game right there. They never recovered from that.
Actually, I'll bring up this tweet when we talk about the Heat later. I wanted to bring up Giannis and give him his respect that he deserves. He is the best player in the world. It is not close. This series showed you that, and yes, he struggled, but that's also because the Celtics have the best defense in the NBA right now. Giannis is probably a top 20 player of all time. He's going to go down as that. He's a 2-time MVP, a 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, a Finals MVP, won a championship. Like Sam's always says, he won it the right way in most people's eyes.
Yep.
He does everything you want him to do. He hit a 3 in the first quarter. He assisted on 24 of 26 of the Bucks' first points, something like that in the first quarter. And he slowed down because the Celtics were able to slow him down. But he deserves all the respect, all the praise in the world. He's amazing. And when he was dominating at that fourth quarter, I was shitting bricks. I was like, oh no, this is about to happen. Giannis is about to put up like a 50-point triple-double and do some dumb shit and win this game. I was very scared of Giannis in that first quarter. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, he came out firing. He just got tired, man. He started missing layups.
He did.
It looked like game 1, he missed a ton of layups.
He was gassed. He was gassed,
They wore him out. They did their job. They wore him out. They made him play defense at points in this series. They went right at him. They weren't afraid of him. And he had to do everything for the
Mhm.
Bucks offensively because nobody gave him anything. Holiday gave him a couple games. Connaughton, who did not show up today, thank God, gave him a couple great games. But besides that, nobody was consistent. Today was Lopez, who I still don't understand how it has any coordination to put the ball in the basket. But
Lopez is awesome. He's really good, and it doesn't make sense, like you said.
he
It's just
should
because of
not be
their
that
system,
good.
but yeah, it's the system they play, man. The system they play. Game 1 at Miami is Tuesday, so we only have a one-day
Tuesday,
break.
8:30. Yep.
Man,
8:30. As someone who works at 4, I truly cannot wait to be going to bed at 11:30.
not gonna be recording after that one.
No, we can't. I mean, you'll probably still be up when I go into work, but I don't know if we can
Mhm.
do that.
I mean, if you want to.
I still have to get ready for the show and stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah.
if you're still awake, like, I don't know, after 7,
No shot, I'll be awake after 7. Oh, man.
we will figure it out. We will have shows for you maybe the next day, the day after. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll figure something out. Let's see here. What else? Drew Holiday got slowed down to a halt, and we've been saying that's been a key the whole series. And outside of Giannis and Brook Lopez, really, and Giannis not even, like the Bucks just had no production. And this is where you see Middleton's absence really come into play. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the Celtics would have dominated even with Middleton. It would have been an even tougher series. I'm not going to say the Celtics couldn't have won it, but that would have been a complete game changer if Middleton was available. It
Oh,
sucks
yeah.
that he was hurt, but
Yeah, he's the
yeah,
Celtic killer, and Giannis would not have had to do everything. It doesn't mean the
exactly.
Celtics couldn't have won the series. It would have been a different series.
They
And
would have won it differently. Yes.
like the guy that pissed you off on Twitter said, like the Celtics really outplayed him in 5 of the 7 games.
They
That
did.
wouldn't
Yes.
have been the case. It would have been closer. They still could have won, but it would have been a whole different series. Milwaukee would have played
Mhm.
differently. You probably wouldn't have had to see George Hill running around out there.
You didn't have to see George Hill regardless because they had Javon Carter. He just didn't play Javon Carter, which I don't get either. But whatever, man. You live with your decisions, I guess, if you're Bud. Um, we talked about him briefly, but Peyton Pritchard, man, we shit talked him and we said, oh,
I
he's
don't
not
think I
making
did. I just
shots.
said I hope he's
Well,
better.
I didn't shit talk him either. It was more like, I don't know if Pritchard can play if he's not making his shots, but boy, oh boy, did he make his shots. Did you see him talk trash to Bobby Portis afterwards? He goes,
Who's this?
Pritchard.
Pritchard?
Pritchard
Oh,
turns
when he said
around.
that's what I do?
Yeah, he looks at Portis. He goes, "That's what I do," and that is what you do, Peyton. You make
Yeah,
shots, big
that's he
time
makes
shot maker.
threes. That's what he does. Excellent job from Pritchard today. He hustled. How many rebounds did Pritchard finish with? Felt like he was everywhere. Do you still
He
have it up?
finished with. I do. Yeah, I have the box score. He finished with 5 rebounds. Yeah,
Yeah, and he played what, 10 minutes, 12 minutes?
yeah. Nah, he played a little more than that. 17 minutes.
Did not feel like he was out there that long, but he did a great job today. He made some. It was remarkable to me. They were leaving him open too at times on
True.
rotations, like Pritchard. They were
Yeah, they
leaving
were.
Pritchard. They were doubling guys off Pritchard. Are you kidding me? Go ahead, leave him.
Yeah, doesn't really
That's the
make too
best
much
thing
sense.
he does is shoot threes.
14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. 2 of his rebounds were offensive, which is, I mean,
About
perfect.
time. How does it feel giving up offensive rebounds?
Amazing. Jalen was okay too. He shot efficiently. He had 8 rebounds. He's got to stop with the turnovers, though, man. He
How
dribbles when
many
he dribbles
turnovers
too
do you
far
have?
into the lane. I don't think it was even that much. Just the one that I noticed. He had 2, but the one that I noticed was noticeable. Like whenever Jalen Brown turns the ball over, it's not
Tatum
like
had
an
at
errant
least
pass or
5.
a slight
He had
slight
5
mix
at the
up.
half.
He had 7, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
not good.
Jalen just scrambles. No, Tatum was rough with the turnovers as well. Um, shoot, what else was he say? Oh, Jalen also. Homie, make your free throws, man. That was
Yeah,
that was
it was painful because at the
it
time the game was
was. And
close.
it didn't matter in the end, but he's
At the
got to be
time it
making
mattered.
those.
They were battling.
I know, yeah.
That first half was a battle.
Yeah. The Celtics missed 5 free throws on the game. They shot 13 of 18 and 3 of the misses were Jalen, which is not great. But the Bucks shot worse. The Bucks shot worse,
They
which is
shot worse
fine.
from everywhere. They shot like what, 4 of
4
something
of
from 3.
33. 12% from
It's
3.
Celtics performance against the Clippers way back when.
Also, shout out Boston's, the best 6 man there is. I mean, give him a max. Grayson Allen, shout out. But like,
you're talking about the fans.
No. I mean, they were awesome too, but Grayson Allen truly put on a Celtics uniform for this series, and so did Bud by leaving him in. Like, he had no business being on the floor. He shot 0 for 6, 0 for 4 from 3, got attacked on every single defensive possession, finished the game with one singular point. Like, he was horrible. And he played 21 minutes of the game. He played half the game, and he was just unplayable. That was another crazy decision by Bud. I don't get it. And coming in, I've said this a million times. Like you said, if KD's foot wasn't on the line, maybe he wouldn't, have a job. He just doesn't make adjustments, man. Like not enough at the very least.
This game is a prime example of him not making adjustments. He said leave Grant Williams open, then Grant Williams started making threes, and he was like, "Hey, just leave him open."
Mm-hmm. Wild. Also, Thanasis, dude, why? Stop.
He's a bum.
You gotta cut it.
He's the worst dude. They did that thing where they pressed at the end of the game, like the game's out of hand. Just stand there. That's what you're out there to do. You're there to cheer on the bench.
I thought he was gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's uncalled for. Like,
not okay.
That dude would not be in the league if his last name was not Antetokounmpo.
Nope. Speaking of 25 points, 20 rebounds, 9 assists for Giannis. Amazing. I mean, he didn't shoot
and that's
well.
Bad. Like, that's bad for him. He was 4 of 16 in the second half.
Mm-hmm. He shot 10 of 26. So he shot, 6 for 10 in the first half, then 4 of 60. Like,
yeah.
Celtics clamped down, man.
He missed easy ones.
I know.
He was just tired.
Yeah, he was. And the Celtics gassed him out. Shout out them. I mean, they did what they had to do, which is huge.
Why don't we transition? So you got to look ahead now. Miami.
We do.
Is Tuesday night. Like you said, there's a quick turnaround. The players can't even really celebrate this. They got to get ready, pack the bags, go to South Beach.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a tweet that I saw. We can start there. It's not like a broad thing. It's kind of niche, but I thought it was interesting. Said Jimmy is going to fucking eat next round, going to live at the free throw line. The Celtics will not be able to keep him out of the paint like Milwaukee could, which I don't understand how you're going to think that when Boston literally just slowed down one of the best player in the world at getting into the paint, and they held him to inefficient shooting. So I don't understand how they wouldn't be able to slow down Jimmy Butler. And that's not a knock on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy's been amazing. And I've said this to a bunch of my buddies, and I'll get your take on it as well as we talk about it. I think the Heat, and this is without Chris Middleton, obviously, because that's the team the Celtics just played. I think the Heat are better than the Bucks, but I also think the Celtics match up better against the Heat because they don't have that Giannis guy who can just get a bucket at will. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy because obviously the Heat have more weapons than the Bucks do. They have Tyler Hero who can kill you. They have Max Strus who can kill you. They have Jimmy Butler. They have Bam Adebayo. Kyle Lowry's been kind of in and out of the lineup in the sense of injury and just hasn't been very good. Victor Oladipo has come out of nowhere. He's played well again. Like, they have guys. Tyler Hero, I don't even know if I said him. They have guys who can shoot and guys who can score and guys who can do it all. But the Heat haven't seen anything like what the Celtics are in the playoffs. They played 3 games against a fully healthy 76ers squad, and they lost 2 of them. And they lost. Like, I'm pretty confident. I've said it before, and you've heard me say it, Sam. I'm scared of the Heat. But after what just happened to the Bucks today, I'm confident going into the series.
I think the Celtics have faced the toughest thing they're going to have to face, at least in the Eastern Conference. You could argue for the whole goal there to win the title. But you did nail it on the head. Miami is a much better team than Milwaukee. And it shows. Literally, Giannis was running around doing everything he could, and it wasn't enough. What was it, like 200 points, 100 rebounds, 50 assists in a series or something like that he put up?
Giannis did?
Oh, yeah, like it was whatever stat people are tweeting about with him. He put up a bunch of stats throughout the series, and he had to for them to even have a chance. And again, the Celtics outplayed them in the majority of the games. They just didn't close game 5. They fumbled around in game 3. Like, there were games where the Celtics could have easily they could have won in 5 and they didn't. So Giannis had to do everything he could just to push to 7. They got blown out. the Celtics are going to have to play defense differently in this next series. They have all kinds of guys that can play. This is a team you're playing against. Could Jimmy Butler feast? Oh yeah. Bam
Probably
killed
will.
them. Bam killed them in the game last month at the Garden. He was a killer, and it wasn't really him scoring, but he just impacted the game. They ran the offense through him. The Celtics really didn't have an answer. Now, Rob was available today. He did not play. We'll see about Miami when they play Miami. I think he's significantly more important in this series
1
because
million%.
they don't have a big body like Giannis flying around out there. It's Bam, who's also undersized and athletic and a good defender. Rob is going to be important. They need him to be functional. They need him to be healthy. Is he healthy? Probably. I don't think they would have said he's available today if he wasn't, because they didn't say it in the last 2 games. It did not matter. And literally game 6 was just as significant as it was today, as game 7 was today. It was win or go home. They won both of them without Rob. They would not have said he was available today if he was not okay. And there's another couple days for him to recover.
Yep.
But the Celtics lost that game last month at the Garden against Miami. Rob did not play. They played them twice with Rob. One of them was in Miami against a fully healthy Miami team. They blew the doors off him. The other was at the Garden with nobody playing for Miami, and they blew the doors off him. But that third game where Rob did not play, and
that's
that
what
was
the series is going to be.
The second game without Rob. The first one was Toronto, where nobody played. It was an adjustment. We'll see. I still think they're cut out to play Miami. The problem is going to be Spoelstra making actual adjustments during the game, which is the reason they lost the game at the Garden last month. He slapped on a 1-3-1 in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics were lost. They couldn't buy a basket. So you're going to need guys to continue to make shots on the outside so they can't zone you up.
Yep. And hey, if Grant's shooting this well, then they'll be able to do that. But you hit the nail on the head. They have to make their shots, and they're going to have to play much differently against a Miami team who moves the ball well, who has multiple guys who can shoot from outside, multiple guys who can get it inside. PJ Tucker, who's going to be so annoying. I'm going to tell you that now. He'll probably get stuck on Tatum. Luckily, the Celtics have Jaylen Brown too. But PJ Tucker is going to be a nuisance, just like he was, excuse me, for the Bucks last year against Durant. Circling back, by the way, Giannis finished the series 237 points, 103 rebounds, 50 assists. Just absolutely incredible stuff from the best player in the world. He was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jimmy Butler, though, is going to be a problem. And I think I said this in the offseason. When I was covering the Heat, I said something along the lines of, and I can't remember the exact quote, if Jimmy Butler becomes an average 3-point shooter, the Heat are probably the favorites to win the finals. And that's what's happening right now. He's shooting 36% from 3 on, I think, 4 attempts a game. Like, he's taking a decent amount of threes. So the Celtics are going to have to game plan for that. He's been one of the best players in the postseason so far. Luckily for the Celtics, they've shut down 2 of the best players in the world, 2 top 20, top 25 players of all time in 2 series in a row. Yep. 11 games, they knocked out Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And this is not a knock on Jimmy Butler, but he's just not on that level. He might be playing at that level, but if the Celtics can game plan and attack those guys, I'm confident they should be able to find a way to contain Jimmy Butler. And they're going to have to contain other guys as well. But I'm feeling good heading into this series. I think they can. I think they can do it. I don't want to make a prediction. I have some thoughts rumbling, but it's going to be tough. I don't want people to think this is going to be an easy series. I've said this time and time again throughout the whole season. I think the Miami Heat are probably the toughest team to play. I know after the Celtics lost to them, you said something like, I just don't want to see the Celtics play a 7-game series against Miami because it'd be boring and annoying.
Oh, I didn't say it would be boring. I said it'd be annoying.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be more annoying than this series?
Yeah.
Really?
Because, I mean, I like Giannis. Like, I think he plays the correct way. Like, I keep saying he's not, like, out there trying to, like, swindle people. He's not trying to foul bait. He's just playing. So you're going to play Lowry, who's a floppy prick. He's one. Butler's a good player. Hero's an irritating guy to even watch play. Bam is very good to where he's annoying. You said PJ Tucker. Strus is going to be annoying because you're going to have all these people saying, "Oh, the Celtics let him walk, and he just scored however many points he's going to score." You're going to see all that stuff. You're going to have Oladipo come off the bench. They are a much deeper team than Milwaukee. The Celtics have the best player in this series. They may have. No, I don't know if they have the two best. I don't know if Brown's better than Butler or Bam.
No, you're on drugs.
No.
I think with the not overall, but with the way they're playing, I think Butler and Tatum is even close, and that's high praise for Butler because Tatum's been crazy. I don't think people understand how well Butler has played in this playoff so far, just because of not dominant, because their series went to 6, but the Heat have been playing. Jimmy Butler's averaging 28.7 points, 7.6 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 2.1 steals, shooting 53% from the field and 36% from three. He's a superstar. He's averaging the third most points. Fourth most points in the playoffs behind Giannis, Luka, and Jokic, who got eliminated. And then Tatum's right after Jimmy Butler. So this is going to be two of the best players in the NBA fighting. And it's going to be about how the rest of the team steps up, I think.
Yep. Both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a great supporting cast on both sides. I think the Celtics are probably the deeper team.
Hot take.
I think Butler is the second best player. Bam being good makes this more difficult for me to argue. Mm-hmm. But I think Horford's better than whoever Miami's third best guy is.
Lowry.
Yeah, I think Marcus is probably better than their fourth best.
Probably Tyler Hero.
Probably more valuable than I don't know. They play different roles. It's tough to say. You can look at
and then you got
scoring.
Oladipo, Strus, Dwayne Dedmon's their backup center. Gabe Vincent's really good. They got some guys. It's close. I see what you're saying. These are probably the two most well-rounded teams in the East.
Yep.
And shocker, I said this before the season, depth kills. Depth is the new way in the NBA. Not long, but deep teams are going to be the way forward. These star-powered big threes, etc., clearly aren't exactly the best game plan anymore.
I'll tell you what, it would have been great if Philly won.
Yeah, I would have been happy if the Sixers won. Honestly, I'd rather play that.
Imagine that.
Be a tough series.
If the Sixers won, those fans would have been through hell again against the Celtics.
Oh yeah, I think they could have cleaned the Sixers up in 5.
Yeah. What do you think this will go? You don't want to say? You think it'll go 7?
Again.
You think they'll lose in 7? You think they'll win on the road?
I think they'll win in. Shit. I forgot about that. I think
they'll win in 6.
I think they have to win in 6. Honestly, they might have to.
I think winning. I want them to win Tuesday, a lot. It's not one of those things where, okay, they're on the road, it's okay to drop games.
They have to win. I mean, they have to win one in Miami just because they do to win the series.
They literally do.
I think they have to win 2 in Miami, though. You're right. I think they've got to be able.
I would just like to see them come out. Listen, you can't do what you did against Milwaukee and come out flat in game 1.
I'll put it this way:
and look lost.
You cannot lose in Boston. You cannot lose in Boston.
Nope, you can't.
They broke up.
I would love to see him come out and punch him in the mouth, man. Come out on Tuesday. Play hard. Don't panic if things go wrong. If they make adjustments to where things get more difficult on the offensive end.
Celtics lost game 1 in this series, and look what happened, right?
Yes. Well, there's that stat where it was teams that are the lower seed that win game 1 on the road by 10 plus points were 2-10 in the series.
Very
and
niche.
Now they are 2-11. Which is funny. I just remember reading that and it was like, well, yeah, of course they are, because usually the lower seeds are bad. If you took for later rounds in the playoffs, it would probably be a different stat.
So let's hope the Celtics win by 9.
Yeah, that's what you want. The sweet spot is 9.
Win by 9.
But what you really want is them to be up 20 the whole game. And then you bring in the bench and they cut it to 9. And that's the game.
Exactly. Also, a stat our buddy Liam texted me before the game, retweeted out. Before that game, the Celtics were 0-7 in games refereed by Goebel.
Yep.
And the Bucks were 15-0. They were up there. And I go, rules are made to be broken, Liam. Rules are made to be broken. That's what it is. Yeah,
that was a very scary stat to see on Twitter for me.
I hated it. I hated seeing it because it made me nervous. But got the job done. Jayson Tatum just said in his postgame, Grant won us a playoff game, a game 7. We needed him to take that many about his 3-point shots. Just, sorry, I'm going to keep with the Grant propaganda.
Are they going to concede and start calling him Batman or no?
That
would have been my next question.
Maybe. Also, people aren't talking about this enough, man. 4 Eastern Conference Finals appearances in 6 years.
Yep. Well, how about you win one? Then people can talk about it.
Yeah, that's also true. Also, Miami Heat. This is the second out of the last 3 years that it's Celtics Heat, right?
Yep.
Or no? Yeah.
Yes.
Second last year. Who was it last year? It was Bucks.
Bucks and Hawks.
Frauds.
Yeah.
Fraudulent. I was like, who the hell is the other one? It was the Hawks. I was rooting for the Hawks, man. That would have been fun. Seeing the Hawks in the finals, that'd been crazy. Clearly, though,
I don't care for the Hawks. They proved to be frauds this year, which they kind of got better this year, and they collapsed. Like, who'd they lose? Anybody? No, they didn't lose anybody significant. They had injuries. Rondo wasn't on that team. He was on the Clippers in the playoffs last year.
Oh, you're right.
He was traded.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Lou Will and Gallinari just took a step back.
Guess so. Not when he played the Celtics. Gallinari was cashing out in one of those games. Or was that last season?
That might have been the Thunder when he was on the Thunder.
No, it was Atlanta, but I don't remember.
Then it was probably last year. It was probably last year then. Because he was on the Thunder in 2020.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Celtics Heat. You said 6. You think Celtics win in 6? Do you think the Celtics are winning the finals now? Are you confident?
I don't know. I think Golden State is a tough team to play in the finals because they've been there so many times.
You think that's who they're going to have to face if it gets to that?
Yeah, I think Golden State's the best team out there. I'm sorry. I mean, I hope it's not Luka they have to play. I don't want to deal with that if they get there.
Yes.
You get
that was my final
playing
prediction.
That out of shape guy. He's like Lopez, but like on crack to where he's the best player, like one of the best players in the league. At least he looks like fluid in his motions, but he's not in shape.
Mm-hmm.
But I would really like to see them play Golden State in the finals. I just think it's been long overdue. That was always the matchup that was talked about when they had Isaiah Thomas, when they went on the hospital Celtics run. It was always going to be them. It's overdue.
It's time.
It's overdue.
Celtics Warriors. What would you feel about Celtics Warriors? Would you be confident?
I'd be nervous. I would obviously pick them, but I'd be real nervous. It would be you would have to like be perfect. Like you would hang on every basket in that kind of series.
It'd be a good series though. I think this Heat series is going to be really good. It's going to be annoying, like you said, but
I hope it's not. I hope you're wrong. I hope they punch him in the mouth and sweep him. That's what I would like to see.
We'll see.
You know what really pisses me off is when I see like neutrals on Twitter, like, please, like a bunch, like, please let this go 7 games. Like, no, I'd really like this to be over, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, not this series that just happened, because then they would.
I thought you were gonna say I hate when neutrals on Twitter just say anything but Boston, like anybody, like just complaining.
Well, I mean, let them complain, but I really, really hate when they're like, "Oh man, like I can't wait for 7 games of this." Like, I don't want to sit through 7 games of any series unless like it's going to benefit me.
Best 2 words in sports, Sam. Game 7.
Yeah, not if your team loses Game 6.
It's true. That's true.
If you're up 3-2, you don't want to hear Game 7. No,
you don't want to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that up 3-2. You kidding me? No,
you're right.
Milwaukee didn't want to hear Game 7.
Yeah,
I hate the cliches like that, man. I mean, of course, it's the best 2 words in sports when you come back from 3-2 down. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
not if you're up.
I'm laser focused on Celtics Heat now. I'm excited. I think it'll be a challenge. I think the Heat were the 1 seed for a reason. Celtics got a big tall task ahead of them, man.
It's going to be different. You spent 2 series game planning for one superstar and shutting him down and doing everything you can to make it difficult for that one guy. Playing Miami, it can be a different guy every day. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It can be like
6
or 7 guys, really.
Luckily, though, I have full confidence in Ime Udoka. After
I do too. I love him, and he talks. He talks too, man. He's like, we're not running from anybody.
Hey, remember when I said it'll make it? He said it'll make it all that much sweeter when we come back and win the series.
Yeah.
You know what, Ime?
He's right.
Fair enough, man.
And don't get me
You're right.
wrong, I would have loved to, have them win in 6, but I'll take it.
This feels pretty good, though.
Would have loved not to, feel nauseous after watching Game 5, but I feel good today.
This feels really good. I'm very happy now. Anyways, I don't really have much else. It was pretty much just euphoria and then talking a little bit about the Heat.
We went 45 minutes. It's not bad.
Yeah, we went pretty good.
Hungry,
I assume you'll hear from us again after Heat Game 1 at some point.
We're going to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do about my sleep schedule. And if you really enjoy listening to us, I am sorry. I kind of got like a blessing for this Bucks series, even though I was very unhappy to be moved to working nights for a short period of time, but it made it easy to do these shows right after the games. And every single game in this upcoming series will be at 8:30. Every single one.
Brutal.
Let me see, because there are going to be ones that I'm able to wake up.
All right.
So there's one on Saturday this week. However, I don't know. Oh man, this is brutal, man.
It's gonna be late nights if we record.
We can talk about this, but there's one on Friday for Game 6. There will be days where I am able to do this. I just don't know when it's going to be.
Let me play you this real quick. Hold up. Very important. Very important. Ah, shoot. Where'd it go? No, I lost it. Oh yeah, here we go.
I'll go swimming at Miami.
Deuce is excited to go swimming in Miami, is what he
said. I was like, what is that? I'm like, what are you playing?
Yeah. Sorry, that was
you should have prefaced it. I was like annoyed listening to that.
Deuce Tatum talking to the media saying, I'm excited to go swimming in Miami. You know what, Deuce? Fair enough. I mean, kid's been to 4 Eastern Conference Finals, or 3. Was he there for? I don't know. Regardless, huge.
Yeah.
Just Jayson Tatum told Grant Williams, "Don't get used to that," about his 18 3-pointers. Oh man. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, not today. Just enjoy it. Enjoy tomorrow. You're not on the team, so you don't have to game plan. You just have to kind of be ready for 8:30 on Tuesday, which I truly cannot wait to have to stay up late.
Enjoy it. I'm very excited for game. I'm excited for the series. Celtics in 7 is my prediction. Hope it's less. I think they have the ability to win in Miami. Game 7 in Miami would be tough, Sam. I'm telling you, the atmosphere in Miami is going to be good. I know you said 5 serves better.
It's nothing
Miami
special.
Gets rocking. I'm saying
when I think of great arenas, Miami's not one of them.
Not saying it's the best, but I'm saying they're going to be in it. They get hyped.
Good.
Anyways, I'll throw it over to you.
Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're on YouTube watching, you're probably on Guy Boston or Bannertown. If you are, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. We do appreciate it. If you're just listening, then you're probably on one of the streaming services. Make sure you leave a follow there in case Jack does not tweet the pod like yesterday. It was, 8 p.m. when you tweeted it?
Yeah, sorry. I spaced out. It was like 9. It was late and I forgot again.
I texted you at 11 a.m.
I was doing something at 11 a.m.
I wasted no time. I said, this is a fire win. We got to get this out. I mean, it was out. People listened to it. People watched it.
Yeah, it was out there.
You could have found it. If you're listening, you probably know where to find it anyways. But make sure you follow on those services. If Jack does tweet out the pod, it'll be at Jack Simone NBA, and you can see me complain about stuff at Sam LaFrance. That's our show for me.
Tic-tac-toe.